Hey, everybody, and welcome to I Can Fix Your Movie.
Hello.
Good to see you.
You
see you.
too.
Yeah.
Great to be back.
Yeah, we've got a really interesting film today.
Yes.
It's not a super long film, so we might not have a super long episode.
Right.
It's pretty short.
It is. It goes really quick.
Yeah, Hollywood movies now they run two and a half hours, which I got to be honest, I'm ready for those good old 1 hour, 1.5 hour films again, frankly. Yeah.
It depends. If it's a Lord of the Rings, I'll sit.
Oh, come on.
I'll sit through.
There's a difference. There's a difference, you know. But
a good quick film sometimes is is kind of
just what the doctor ordered. 100%.
Although this one, I feel like
it was. I think this was short. It was short because it didn't have a whole lot of substance to it.
I think it should have had a little bit more to it.
It should have had more to it because it needed more story.
Definitely.
That's what happened. So this film
was sort of, instead of a story, was kind of an idea.
Yeah, it was honestly a short film that they were like, let's expand it.
Yeah.
And it feels like that's what they did.
Yeah.
Because the story starts, doesn't go, it goes down a straight line, and then you're at the finish, and you're like, oh, I guess that's the end of it.
The credits roll.
Yeah. It's pretty shocking.
Yeah.
I watched this in the theaters.
Right.
I remember when the credits are rolling, I went, oh, is it done? Okay. So, yeah. So this is a 2014 film.
Is this another plot twist?
Yeah. Maybe, yeah. The credits are rolling. You're like, let's see where this goes. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's see if it works out for him, Cotton. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah.
So this is a 2014 film. So what? 12 years old. And it's called Lucy.
Yes.
Now this is a Scarlett Johansson led film. But it tries to explore, I feel, some really high-end ideas. But
one idea specifically, I feel like, yeah.
Well, there's some because they intercut this film a lot with nature and of course like the cellular stuff, which is expected, but he intercuts with like a mouse going into a trap, and we're like, okay, and then a gazelle getting eaten by a lion, and you're like, okay,
right.
So they intercut with all these other metaphors of what they're doing, and I'm like, again, it kind of felt like, you just didn't have enough film. And so they went to all this stock footage. They could have done that for an hour and a half more. Cut into a person crying and a baby crying, and then somebody else crying at the altar. Like, just weird stuff.
It was interesting filmmaking.
Yeah, but
sure. It was unconventional.
It was unconventional, but it felt way more like student film. Would do.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's what it felt like to me.
We're just exploring different ways to tell a story here.
Yeah. Well, they use the nature shots a lot of animals.
Yeah.
And I think I guess the whole part of the point was, how unsimilar we are. Like we're absolutely how similar we are to just like everything. And we're all the same basic thing. I was like,
wait, I think the point was that we're all
the same kind of thing.
We're all the same thing.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of the idea. So anyway, I have some fixes here, but this is a little bit different though, because normally I want to fix the film that's in front of us. I really don't want to do that in this circumstance.
Okay.
I kind of want to rewrite this one with a different idea.
Yay!
Okay.
Let's rewrite it.
Yeah. It's, not totally. Because I think there's a really kind of bold...
we're not just painting the walls.
No.
We're remodeling.
Yeah, we're remodeling on this one.
For sure.
Because I think it's a really interesting, bold concept that could have been a little bit cooler, in my opinion.
Agreed.
So, let's jump into the summary.
Okay.
And then we'll jump into tear down and remodel.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. So Lucy follows... it follows Lucy, the character named Lucy.
Yes.
Pretty much a pretty basic, ordinary American student that's living in Taipei. She is tricked into delivering this mysterious briefcase for her boyfriend.
Yeah,
kind of guy that
you
she
can
met at the
tell,
club.
Yeah, they just kind of met. She thinks he's cool, but
Yeah.
they're not really very deep into a relationship.
Right. And he actually slams the cuffs from the briefcase on her arm and says, "No, you got to do it." And she's like freaking out, and she's like, "Okay." And she ends up delivering this briefcase to this Korean crime syndicate boss.
Right.
And she jumps headlong into and she's freaking out as anybody would.
Right.
And she's flipping out. She goes up, they take her upstairs, and she walks into the room. She looks over in where the bathroom is and sees like dead people, like
dead bodies.
Yeah. And you're
blood,
like, whoa.
Just murder.
And then the boss walks out.
Yeah, happening.
And he's got safety goggles on, which is hilarious. We want safety goggles for sure. In all this.
When we're mutilating people,
all these
apparently.
terrible things. So it turns out that this case doesn't have documents in, paperwork.
Right, like the boyfriend
said. It's actually this real, it's this really, really serious drug, CPH4, right?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, she's forced to become, a drug mule for this substance, along with 3 other people, right? And they literally cut up in their stomachs, put it in, and they're like, go. And it is kind of weird because 3 of the people get on their planes, no problem. She is interestingly taken to this side,
kind of a cell.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like
and the guys, instead of the boss going, "Hey, take care of her. If you do anything to her, I'm going to kill you. She's carrying something serious." He's just like, "All right, good luck." And so the guys treat her really badly, and they actually punch her, and then they kick her in the wound where she just always like you stub your toe and then you always hit that one spot. So just find a place to that one injury. You're like, "Oh, you found it! Dang it!" So he kicks that one spot, rupturing this bag, and all these synthetic drugs going. Not all of them. Some of it starts to leak. A
lot of it leaks into her system.
Yeah, a good chunk goes into her system. Now, again, not all of it, because in the end we see like a third of the bag is actually still there. But anyway, point is, a bunch of it goes into her body, and she just like unlocks. She's like falling. She Spider-Man's up the wall.
She's climbing walls.
And
she's freaking
spinning out.
She's convulsing.
Yes.
She is losing it.
She is increasing the percentage of her brain capacity, which we are learning from Morgan Freeman, right? That if you unlock more of your brain percentage, you can do all these superpower type things, right?
So they keep cutting to this professor that is played by Morgan Freeman, and he's basically doing research on the brain and its capacity. Right.
So this is her intelligence, her perception. She develops telekinesis, telepathy, ability
X-ray
to
vision,
manipulate time. She can all these different things that she can do, and she's seeing this, and so she ends up contacting this professor Norman, and she says, "Hey, listen, you need to meet me. I'm gonna die like in 24 hours, and I need help trying to figure out what to do with this." And she again, then for some reason, gets the help of this detective in France and says, "Hey, there's these 4 people." Or these 3 people that are going to go into like Rome, Berlin, and London, and you need to pick them up and bring them here, and I'm going to take the drugs out, and you need to do it right now. And he believes her because she does this she's like, "Hey, detective, sit down and pick up the red pen on your desk and write down what I'm telling you to." And she's like, and he's like, "Oh, how did you know?
How do you know?"
Huh. And so he believes her. He does it. They pick up these people. They meet up in this hospital where, of course, then the bad crime syndicate people have sent their people to recover the drugs. because these mules were picked up at the airport,
Right.
and they saw it, and they were like, "Oh, go pick up the drugs."
Now we need to go get these
Yeah.
guys back and pick them up.
Which apparently is easy to track them to wherever they were pulled in by the police. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's a lot of confusing things of like, how did that happen? I don't know. Let's just suspend our disbelief and go with it. I'm like, oh, okay. So in the end, Lucy shows up at this university. She has all the bags of the drugs. She basically wants to use all of the drugs to unlock 100% of her brain and kind of like make a magic jump drive
Yep.
for the future to pass on her knowledge to this professor. And the drug dudes are trying to get to her, and they're shooting up the place. And at the end, she merges with basically the fabric of the universe. And
she becomes basically
godlike kind of
a consciousness that is
everywhere,
knows everything, is everywhere, and can still control things.
And she leaves behind this wonderful USB drive, leaving her accumulated knowledge. And the bad guy gets killed, and they're all like, "Oh, well, there you go, the end." And the credits roll,
and
that's it. Yeah. That's it. That's the whole movie.
They're holding the jump drive, and the evil guy is shot, and then they like pan away from him, and credits roll.
That's it.
Yep.
So the person who wrote this deck directed it, which is great. I'm always in favor of that. Normally, the person that writes it has the best idea of like how to direct
exactly what they want to see.
Unless they're just, they could be bad directors and they don't want to direct. But like a lot of times, those writers.
Yeah.
And I'm pulling for the writers because I'm always like, because I am one.
Right.
I know, like.
And you're a director.
And I'm a director. So like, I believe in the writer-director combo. But yeah.
And honestly, I mean, and I guess we're going to jump into this right now, but he had a good idea.
I think the idea was, and that's my first, what we liked.
Yeah.
It's a bold sci-fi concept. I think the idea of unlocking the cognitive abilities is fascinating. I do think it's interesting.
It is.
It's a strong foundation, and it sets up really cool visual storytelling, and I like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's just in general, it's just a great idea.
It had some.
It felt like it just kind of stayed an idea. I guess that's the main problem. But
it had some potholes. There was some potholes there.
Definitely. But I think the idea of it was a really good jumping off point.
Yeah.
And it had some cool elements and some cool moments. They just weren't kind of told in a very good story.
Right.
But the ideas were there.
And of course, having Scarlett Johansson on your movie, I mean, she's great.
Yeah.
She's very talented. I think she was super underused. But, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
I do. I think she's just super underused.
No, I absolutely, because of what happens to her in the way that she has to act. It's like,
like we could have gotten a broomstick.
We could we could have gotten anybody. But.
So, those are the things I liked. What did you like? Those things?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said. I thought it was a great idea.
Yeah.
I like Scarlett Johansson.
I also there's certain parts
Morgan
of
Freeman. We didn't even,
Yeah, Morgan Freeman's the best.
Gosh.
I mean, he's in my top 5. Who do you want to work with? Morgan. Yeah, it's amazing.
Absolutely.
There's these also cool visuals of when she's rearranging matter in her hands or turning into like claws and webbing, and there's these cool things that happen throughout. Like she's like, I need to try to find this telephone call, and she's like searching through the telephone waves and like seeing it. It's like, that's cool stuff. Visually, that's very cool.
Yeah, it is. The concepts were cool, and I also think this sort of appeals to kind of humanity's base desire to sort of overcome fear and pain and be able to control situations.
Well, like to completely unlock your brain is somebody's like great desire to go. Like, for example, there are people that can look at a piece of paper and memorize the entire thing just like by looking at it. Yeah. And going like, why can't we all do that? That's super unfair. Like, why can't I do that?
I know.
So like, there's some things that we can do. Like, I mean, there's people that just hear a note, and they're like, oh yeah, I can, or they hear something one time on the keyboard or whatever, and they're like, oh, here, I can play that, and you're like, what?
Right.
That's so unfair.
We know that there's parts of the brain that that some people tap into that the normal person doesn't, and I mean it's incredible, it's amazing. So yeah, I think it does just kind of appeal to that desire in all of us.
Sure.
To sort of be able to do more, control more about our lives.
And that's cool. That's a cool concept. Hot take missteps. I've got like 3 or 4 of them just to kind of before we get to it. But the first one is the most obvious one. And I've said this on this show before. Man, the 10% of your brain myth it's the central premise of this thing. And it's so scientifically inaccurate.
Yeah.
And it's been debunked so many times.
And it's in so many movies.
Yeah, but it undermines the film's credibility before we even start.
Yeah.
There could have been a wetter...
Because it's based on a concept that we already know is not true.
They're using a really simple concept of going because they keep showing the percentages up on the screen of 10%. 20%, and there's a better way to do that. If they acknowledge no, this is what we're talking about, that we're able to unlock all the reset. If it's a filing cabinet and we are able to do this and this and this, because we will accept that there are pieces of our brain that there's memories that we're completely unable to remember.
They're filed away.
They're filed away, but is there a way that this thing allows us to unlock all of those things? They're there, but we just don't have the if it's something like it unlocks all the neural pathways, and by doing that, it allows us to do these other things, then fine. But this 10% thing is so good. Hate it.
Right.
Hate it.
So if they had just kind of reformed
that concept.
The concept.
But they made it, I think, too popcorn easy of 10%, 20%.
Yeah, 60%.
Yeah, they try to do that so that I guess the regular person. But I think the regular person is already look, that's not true. We know that that's not true. But
right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's number one. The other one is the muddy motivations of Lucy.
We don't really understand why she's doing what she's doing.
When she gets out, she wants the drugs out, right? And you talked about this. You thought this was a big one.
This was my misstep, is that I kept asking you, because I was like, wait, why is she she just her first thing when she escapes, okay, and the drugs have sort of leaked into
given her
system.
first step of,
right. She goes to shoots all the bad guys that were kind of holding her in this cell, and then she leaves and she goes straight to the hospital, and she walks into this operating room, kills the patient, and says, you couldn't have saved him. Looks at his chart, his X-ray, and says, you couldn't have saved him anyway. I need you to take these drugs out, and basically forces these doctors at gunpoint to take the drugs out.
Right.
But then immediately, as soon as she leaves the hospital, goes on a mission to find the rest of the drugs,
right,
so that she can use them. And I was like, wait,
why?
Right. Why did she take them out of her body?
Just let it leak into her system.
If she wants more drugs to put in her
body.
Because
later on the plane, she starts disintegrating, and she eats all the drugs. You should have just left it in.
You should have just left it in.
It makes no sense.
It didn't make any sense. So, her motivation for doing what she's doing a lot of times
it's super muddy, and it doesn't
clear.
make sense. Yeah, and then, so she does talk to this detective, and she's like, hey, these people are coming to these countries, and they catch them. They do. They go to Berlin. They go to Rome. They go to London.
Quickly.
And the thing is, this guy is in France, right?
Yeah.
But
the detective
is in France, but how did you extradite them out like within 24 hours? It's like extradition, extradition. Like what? That extradition is a thing.
It's like 1 minute, one scene they're catching them at the airport, and the next minute they're in France.
They're all back where he was at. I'm like, what are you doing?
And she's already said she has less than 24 hours to live. So
right.
all of this happened within a matter of, and I know it's all Europe. It's all closer than than
it's
we
close-ish,
think it is.
yeah.
But still, that's really fast.
Yeah, and now, like, how did you get? Just putting the forms in would take longer than that. But she just got them out, and I'm like, okay, I guess. My last hot take misstep is probably the one that a lot of people think about is the super bad lesson that this movie basically says, kind of without saying, man, with enough drugs, you can unlock superpowers. And I'm like, is that the lesson you want to teach Lucy? Because that's what you did.
Right. Now, she did die. Because of it.
She's everywhere. Thank you very much.
Okay, sorry.
If you want to become a god, take as many drugs. No,
right. It's not a great message.
It's not.
It's really not a great message.
It's
honestly.
not. It's a really kind of like I remember walking out of the theater, seeing this, going, so getting those drugs in your tummy makes you be a super creature, right? It makes you can fly and telekinesis and all that. Sweet. Like. No more toxic waste barrels for me.
Exactly.
Forget those spiders.
Right.
Just spider bites. Just find the druggy drugs.
Yeah. That kind of leads us right into
Act 1. It does. Act 1. Problem number 1. The whole thing was like they're smuggling this stuff out, and the little guy who's trying to tell them about what this drug is.
Yeah.
In the syndicate was like, oh well, I'll tell you, this drug is this CP. What is it? CPH4. But really, we got to come up with a sexier name. You got any ideas?
Yeah, he basically explains that this drug is just the popular drug that all the kids in
are
Europe,
gonna love. Yeah,
that all the
they're
kids
gonna go
in Europe
crazy for it.
And then you see what it does, and you're like, what? This is a street drug?
This drug unlocks. It's a life-altering, human existence altering drug.
Yeah,
right.
Like it literally with enough
changes
of it,
the human existence
because an amount leaked into her.
Yeah,
that was small compared to the amount they had.
Yeah, and if you could go,
and she literally
becomes superhuman. Right,
becomes a superhuman in seconds.
Yeah.
And this is a street drug.
Right.
This is what we're selling to the kids on the corner.
Yeah.
In Europe.
Right.
And so that's our major problem.
Yeah, and the plan is to smuggle it out to the streets. And no one, absolutely no one, when they were creating this drug, like, tested it to the level that they needed to. They were like, oh, I'm sure everybody's just going to use a tiny bit of it to, like, get high. But, like, not to really unlock the human existence within the levels of their mind.
We hope nobody overdoses on this and realizes that they can become
like
a superhuman. What?
Huh, I can move objects now. What? That's crazy.
Let's take a little more.
So
wow.
stupid.
Now I can jump. Now I can fly.
Now I can,
What? I can levitate other
what?
people.
Oh man!
It's just the idea that this was
it's supposed to be a street drug,
like meth.
Is
just ridiculous.
What a mess that was! Super big mess. So for a fix, this is the most high-end product ever created.
It has to be.
It is the most high-end product, and the thing is, it took forever. It took a long time to process this, right?
And they need to tell us that.
Right, a long time. Like, tell them it took 15 years to just process. Don't even have these huge bags. These bags, a quarter of that size would have been plenty.
Right.
To show that it's so rare, okay? And it took forever to get these things. It took forever to get them and make them and process them. And they're not going to the street hoods they're going to. Oh, sorry, the European kids.
Right.
They're going to the highest bidders.
Millionaires are bidding.
Millionaires.
Billionaires
They're giving up They're giving up their fortunes for this
stuff
because they know that it's going to give them, like, they know what it does.
Now they might not know
the true, like the
ultimate
final,
true
right?
Potential, because nobody's ever taken that much,
Right.
But they know.
But they have a template,
Yes.
which I'm going to get to.
Mm-hmm.
They've got somebody that has taken this certain amount and what he's able to do, and they're willing to give up everything, right?
Yeah.
The drug's going to give them power to do basically anything, and it's going to go to the highest bidder, right? And these mules are smuggling these things out to secret locations around the world so that bidders can then bid on it and pick it up discreetly, and it never is going to get tied back to Zhang, okay?
Okay.
And I also think that Zhang needs to not be in the underworld. He needs to be highly respected with like a family and things to lose.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
Because otherwise he wouldn't care, right?
Right.
Which leads us to problem number 2. The villain is just one-dimensional. He's like, I'm generic crime boss.
And I want my drugs back.
And I want my drugs.
Just because they're mine.
Because they're mine. And literally,
he has no idea the whole time what
these
drugs even do.
And that because they're apparently, because they never talked about like how long it took to develop. And this is what the only kind that if somebody took it at the airport, you're like, oh, okay, well, it's gone. Let's start making some more. Because I'm not going to risk everything to go shoot up a hospital, shoot up another like the university with all those cops, risk all my men for something that I could just go manufacture again.
Right. Just hey, call up the lab.
Start again.
We lost
the
mules.
first batch. Got to try again. If this is supposed to be on the street, like, how are these kids in Europe gonna afford this thing if you're willing to sacrifice everybody to get it?
Hundreds of your men.
So stupid.
To get it back.
To get it back. It
Yeah.
does not make sense at all, right?
Okay, so Zhang, instead of being a thug, he's a highly respected member of society.
That's the fix. He's a highly respected, high up in the ranks, okay? And also developed Zhang as someone who was the template.
He's taken the drugs. Okay.
And he knows what it can do, and he can show it off and go, this is what you can do, and he's moving things around, and people are like, whoa.
Right. He has to be able to
to show
the interest
right.
of these billionaires.
Right.
There has to be a reason that they want this stuff.
Right. And he thinks that he's reached the top,
mm-hmm.
and he's going to sell the rest. Okay.
Right.
He thinks he's at the end of the potential of what this drug can do. And not until it ruptures inside Lucy does he realize there's more that it can unlock.
Right, because she comes back to see him after
this
has happened.
And she puts her hands on his head, and she's like, I can read your thoughts. And he's like, I can't do that. You must have... Oh, if I take more...
Right, so all of a sudden he sees that there's
firsthand...
more that can be tapped into.
That's right.
With
He
this
thinks
drug.
he was done, but there's more. And now, here it goes. From here on, both Lucy and our now non-generic drug lord, Zhang,
who also has powers.
They're both in a race to collect the rest of the drugs to top out their powers.
Yes.
They're trying.
So good.
Yes.
That's a real story.
That's a real story.
And a real bad guy and an actual conflict.
Right.
That Lucy has to overcome.
Right.
Because right now there's, like, once she starts, from the first dose, she's like, there's no obstacle in her way.
Yeah.
She just, overcomes
She's
everything.
all powerful, and she overcame everybody. But now, he is the counterpoint to her.
Yes.
He becomes her counterpoint, and they are racing to get these last drugs, realizing what they actually can do, and going like, I was foolish to sell it, but now if I get these drugs back, I can top out my power and be basically all powerful.
And see, Lucy's taken enough that she realizes that she's going to die.
Right.
He does not maybe understand
Not yet.
that he hasn't taken enough of the drugs to come to that knowledge that, oh, well, my cells are going to disintegrate.
Right. And it could honestly be one of those things of like, it's one of those things, and it's been used before, but I'm not necessarily opposed to this. This thing is unlocking what's truly inside you. Like if you're good, then it's going to make you good and truly good. And if you're bad, it makes it worse, right?
Yeah.
And so that's a possible extra thing.
Sure.
Right.
It can be possible.
So Act 2, moving on. The emotional detachment of Lucy happens way too quick.
Oh my goodness.
She is, as intelligent as Lucy is, and it's increasing, her humanity fades almost like straight up immediately. As soon as she wall crawls, and then she jumps in the chair and she's like, meh.
And she
is
a robot.
She's a robot for the rest of the film.
For the rest of the film, she shows no...
Yeah.
Because she immediately loses all fear.
Emotional
all
engagement
pain.
is gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. So, for the fix, you need to gradually do this. You've got to... As she's losing more and as she's gaining more of the percentages here...
Right. More knowledge.
Right. She has capacity. To slowly let this go. Right? Because then you're watching her struggle. And that's intriguing.
It is intriguing.
Right? She's trying to retain her humanity and realizes that the humanity is really something worth holding on to, because then we can come back to it in the end.
Yeah.
Like in kind of the final end fix here, but because remember the humanity part. Okay.
Right. Okay.
So we include moments where she's, not just reconnecting to mom on the phone, but she's reconnecting with loved ones in her mind. Mm-hmm. And she's grappling with these decisions that she's making because she's transforming. And it's then tragic and then very relatable to you.
Right.
And that's, I think, what you have to do.
Yeah, I think it needs to be sad that she's losing touch with her feelings. And, she loses the sense of love.
Right.
That's really sad.
Yeah, not just feelings. She was like, I have no desire.
I have no desire, no joy, no
needs at all.
No fear, but also no happiness.
Yeah.
So that's got to be really sad. Yeah. Well, that happened like
in a second.
Like a light switch.
It is.
And then her character was just kind of weird from that
boring.
point on.
It was. It just was kind of weird and boring, and I just like, what a miss.
Played it well, but it watching somebody without any emotions
for an not super long but
film, it was like you're supposed to like this person.
Yeah, if you have somebody with that kind of range, you need to do a rewrite and allow her to show something. But,
and she played, in the beginning, of course, when she was
super
afraid
great. Yeah.
And before the drugs leaked in or whatever, she was
freaked out.
Amazing.
Yeah, she was crying, just like, oh no, oh. Yeah, absolutely. Next, the professor and the detective. Man, the professor is basically just used as exposition.
Yeah,
telling what's happening to Lucy.
Yeah,
conveniently.
Yeah, explaining the brain to the average person.
Yeah, and then the detective is just basically her pet. That's all that happens.
The detective, in my opinion, was just a completely useless. He even says, and
he's like, "What am I doing?"
He's like, "I don't even think I don't.
You don't
think
need me." He's like,
"Why am I here?" And she says, "A reminder," which is
gives him a kiss.
Means like I actually don't need you.
I don't need you.
And we're all watching.
You're
thinking,
his pet. That's right.
That's true.
Right.
You're not needed in this film.
Right. So for a fix, you have to have both the detective and the professor actively participating in helping Lucy find these bags and get these drugs. Because again, Lucy's goal then is to help mankind. Okay. And Zhang wants to control. He wants total control over everything. And they know if he gets it, they're headed for a dark world.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So they have to help Lucy. And they've got to be not just, the training wheels on the bike. They've got to be part of the process.
Yes. And they have to understand what her motivation is.
Right.
I don't think that the detective ever knew what she was doing. He
Right.
found her interesting,
Yeah.
but he like,
And it was more like, wow, you can do that? That's amazing. I'm going to hang around.
right. Like
No.
he never like jumped on board the mission because he felt like it was important.
And I think part of the thing is because we didn't even know the mission.
We didn't know.
We
didn't
didn't
know
know
any
what she
more
was-
than he did.
Yeah, we didn't know what she was doing. She's
we
like,
have no idea what
she's like, I'm just going along because you made people float. Right? I'm
And
like,
you're
okay.
pretty cool. I mean, I
Yeah.
I don't want to be on your bad side, so I'll
Right.
just hang
I'm
out.
going to hang around and
yeah.
I want to see where this goes.
Yeah.
Next, yeah, we're Act 3. Yeah, here we go. The crime plot basically becomes irrelevant, you know?
Yeah.
Because in the third act, the conflict with this crime boss and blah, 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 and the syndicate, it feels pretty insignificant compared to Lucy's cosmic transformation,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So what are they there? Like, why are you trying to get this back unless you knew what it can do?
And they didn't.
They didn't know what it could do. They just like, it's my drugs. What,
She crossed
dude?
me. Nobody crosses me.
What?
Like that's what it felt like. And even at the end, and you might talk about this, but even at the end, you know, they come in to where she's transforming into the
computer thing, right?
jump drive, and she's busy. Apparently,
She's focused. Yeah.
and so they have an all-out gunfight with the French police or
Yeah.
whatever. And I think that like I don't even know why that fight happened. She
Right.
literally could have just had a thought and
Yeah.
like
Removed all their guns, right?
demolished all of those guys. They've already shown that she's capable of
Immense power,
literally,
right?
like, controlling people's bodies or whatever.
Right.
And she controlled other people while she was doing other things. So it's not like she couldn't do multiple things at once. But all of a sudden she goes in this room and
she's too focused. She can't. Omnipotent Lucy cannot be bothered with like these stupid gunfight outside the room.
the gunfight
What?
just didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Why is it happening? And you're right. It's
The
like
crime plot is just why is
by
it
the
still
time
happening?
she's that powerful, this whole crime story it doesn't matter anymore.
Doesn't matter
it's
at all.
Insignificant. The
That's-
villain is literally an ant to be
Yes.
crushed by her.
Right.
So to make him an actual adversary made no sense.
Right. Which is why the fix has to be there's a race to the last bit of the drugs because, you know, it's for the fate of humanity. So both people have gained pieces.
Yes.
So one of the boss, Zhang, has gotten to one of the people before Lucy. Lucy got to another one. They're trying to
Right.
get to the last one, you know, to like tip the scale.
Yeah.
And go to complete power.
And maybe he's
And
even
it matters.
taken more drugs along the way. And
That's what I'm
now
saying. Like he
he's
has
gained powers.
that's
and
what
so he's an actual
threat. Yes, and that's the thing.
threat
That's what
to
I'm saying.
her.
He did. He got to that person
Yeah.
first. He took it.
yeah.
Lucy did too.
Yeah.
And they're both gaining and they're growing. And
Right.
right. So it's down to the last one.
It has to be that. Otherwise it just
Is kind of
it's
wonk
like
wonk.
why does she
Right.
even let that gunfight go on?
Yeah.
She could have stopped it at any second.
Right. The next one. This film, unfortunately, has the worst last scene basically ever in the history of ever. Lucy is moving to that 100%, and in the last scene, we see Lucy, you know, flipping through time, which I liked.
It was cool.
It was cool. It was like,
She's,
oh, here's
like,
New
going
York, and
through
here's
all
this,
the
and
time. Yeah.
and then here's some native people, and that's cool. And then she's seeing a dinosaur, and he goes for it, and she's like, Nyerp. But then she ends up on the cave woman Lucy, which they talk about at the beginning because that's the name of the film. And it's like she reaches out her hand and like a little Michelangelo, you know, fingers to touch, and then how godlike am I to you, stupid mortal creature?
Right.
And I'm like, oh, boo.
Yeah.
It's the dumbest, most condescending. To me, I was done. I was done with it. For
not
me,
our favorite
no,
thing.
dumb ending for that. For the fix, you got to have a more personal farewell. Remember I said I was going to come back to it?
Yes.
She's transcending, but Lucy goes to the final moments with her family and friends.
Yeah.
She's having moments with her mother, and she's seeing parts of her history.
Yes.
Right. And because it matters. Then she goes and sees the beginning of, I think even she does it in reverse order. She sees the beginning of time and the end of time, but then she comes back to the humanity of her.
Right.
And she sees her mother and sees her mother as a child and see her mother being born, and she's crying watching the beautiful life that created her being born.
Yeah,
Right.
That's
yes.
precious.
Yes. And we get all these really cool clips of Lucy, and it's not some god like Michelangelo painting. It's with the cave woman.
Right.
It's personal.
It's personal. And I honestly, like, as cool as that was, her going back in time.
No, I'm saying you can keep that.
No,
just
I know.
not that
no,
one
I know.
bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you could show her, but she's like,
No.
and then she goes back. But like having the moment with Lucy, that's the part that stunk it up.
But also, I'm just saying, have those moments. But the whole ending of the film kind of made it seem like, well, really, the conclusion I've drawn in opening up 100% capacity in my brain is that everything's really just meaningless.
Right.
And by having her travel to these human moments,
right,
it shows that we all say, oh, we're all the same and we're all made up of these cells and blah 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 blah. But as she goes back in time, she realizes the importance of it is in the relationships.
Right.
In the
connections,
people, in the
right.
connections,
right. And the families and the people that we,
in the
right,
in the love,
and the moments,
all of the things
right,
that she
that
kind
we
of lost.
experience as humanity.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the point. Overall, the thing is, they just never committed. They just never committed because is it a crime thing? Is it a sci-fi thing? Is it a right? And it hints at all these very interesting topics of the pursuit of knowledge, the evolution of consciousness, the relationship between humanity and technology, the cost of transcendence, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, what they really need to get down to is knowledge without humanity is emptiness.
Right.
Right.
I think that has to be the message.
You have to make that the central theme and make it explicit, right?
Exactly.
Because her journey, it's just not about gaining information. It's about understanding the emotional tolls and the ethical responsibilities that accompany that knowledge.
Yes.
Right?
Oh,
and the connections that we make. That's the problem.
Definitely.
Right.
That's what it needed. That's the heart that it needed.
Right.
Exactly.
And I think that's what really gave it its flaws, is not really fully jumping into that. Mm-hmm. And it becomes, it's this, is it this thriller? Is it philosophical? Is it exploration of consciousness? Is it cosmic spectacle? Like what is it? And if you end with, instead of like this connection to Lucy, the cave woman, right? And you make it it's a beautiful story of like who we are, then I think it makes sense and it works.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's Lucy.
That's Lucy.
Yeah, that's the retooled storyline.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think those were really good fixes.
Thanks.
I think that had the film kind of developed a little bit more of a story instead of just kind of keeping it at this really cool idea.
Yeah.
And then adding in some gunfights to give Lucy something to do, I guess.
Yeah.
Then,
she just never had a bad guy that could do anything. That's the whole problem.
Like they
Lucy,
tried
the
to make
omnipotent.
they tried to make obstacles for her, but there weren't any really.
They couldn't
and so
be.
all
right.
of it just became meaningless. But yeah, I think the way that you fixed it was
because in the
would
end
have made it amazing.
Yeah, in the end, the two have to battle it out, right? I mean,
if you want to give her an obstacle,
at
it
the
has
end,
to be an actual real.
Yeah, Zhang and her have to battle it out, and because you imagine a really cool fight scene with like these two creatures that can like manipulate their bodies into whatever they wanted to do. Like, how cool would that have been? Right?
I'm like, so cool.
Yeah.
That would have been so cool. Oh my goodness. I actually kind of hope there's a remake of this.
And people will hear this and go, wait a minute.
Like, this needs to be remade with these fixes.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
I believe all the films should be remade with our fixes. Or else I wouldn't be doing this.
know.
Yeah,
But this
I
is
know.
really the one where, like, I'm
Wow.
just visualizing how
Cool it
that
could have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we are closing in on something really important. I don't know. We're about 4 or 5 episodes away. I don't remember exactly, but we're really close to our 50th episode.
Wow.
I know.
So much fun doing these.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
50 films that
Yeah.
It's coming up real quick.
And so many more to come.
So many more. There's
There's
so many rotten apples out there.
or
just-
good apples
just-
that just need a little
They,
polishing.
they just a little bit of rot on the side there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
So anyway, guys, we're coming up on the 50th. We hope you guys continue to engage and connect. And there's so many of you guys out there every week when we post. I'm always like looking on the site to go, oh, there's our friend over there in Philadelphia and Chester and Houston and San Antonio and Miramax. And we're like, oh, cool. Those people,
wow.
they're all over. And we're getting people in Africa and Israel, Australia, Uganda, like just all over the place.
Yeah, it's
And it's really
totally
fun to see
amazing.
people, kind of jump into those places. But we'd love to have some connection with you guys, not just let you listen, but like actually talk to you and like engage with you and see what your thoughts are and see how we're doing. So that's kind of where we're at. And we hope you guys are liking the show. And, here's to another 50 after this. So
yeah, definitely.
So that's all we got for you guys. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.